Hey everybody, how's it going? So today, Tanner's driving,
What's up?
and then I'm just the passenger. It's so much safer this way, so I promote this kind of way of doing it. So I have to start setting more of the example. But today we're going to talk about branding. Branding is so important, and there's not enough people, I think, branding. There's 3 types of branding. Well, there's 4 technically. I thought of a 4th one a minute ago. So 3 types of branding. There's personal branding. There's your brand, like your company branding, and then there's product branding, and then there's the time where they get the stick really hot and they burn yourself, or maybe you're in high school and like you light up the lighter and you brand yourself because you're stupid. So that's the 4th type of branding. But it's important to do all 3 types of branding, all 3 types. And so I don't see enough people with a LinkedIn profile. It's so important. How important is it? It's so important that Gary Vaynerchuk, rather than go LinkedIn Live all the time, has a YouTube channel and then does all his YouTube recordings just like I'm doing. And there's a reason for that, because if you have 1,000 subscribers and you get at least 4,000 watched hours a year, watched hours a year from 1,000 viewers, so total combined, you can monetize your YouTube channel. It's so cool. But anyway, so they record their stuff, and then there's also really cool analytics on YouTube of when you do your videos of where people fall out of the video and that type of thing. It's so cool what you can do on there. They take that and then they put it out on LinkedIn. At one point, Gary Vaynerchuk, as I've been following him, was posting 10 YouTube videos of different marketing things he markets and all sorts of stuff. Now he's into this wine club that he started, which is funny, Gary, because I have the Wine Casa. I own the web domain, the Wine Casa, because at one point I had the same thought that you did. But what I ran into that was very difficult is, 1, I decided I was going to stop drinking and become a good, faithful Christian again. And 2 is you can only like distribute wine out of like certain states where it covers like 15 in one state and then 8 in another. It's much like a hand carry permit, and so it's very hard to do wine, and so it just wasn't for me for the challenge, because then sometimes you got to keep it cold as well, and then it's got to oscillate and bottles freeze, and so there's just the logistics I didn't want to deal with. But it would have been cool because a whole bunch of women that get together and gossip and talk about different things and then drink wine. I learned about it from this lady that I love on a cruise ship. Anyways, side subject. So branding, so important. You need to brand your company, and you need to have a focus and a goal and something you drive towards all the time. The other day I heard that there's this company that wants to be just like us, and when I say us, my mini cost, they want to be just like us, which I think is awesome. So I heard another person sent me a video, and they said, do you know what Microsoft talks about in their yearly thing? And 70% of it was how to beat out Apple. Well, then do you know what Apple talks about? Well, 70% of it or 100% of it is how to build a new platform. And so it's really good to build a personal brand to the point that other people want to be just like you, and it's okay, because quite frankly that means you're doing something. So personal branding, so important. Now, you need a brand, you need to market your products every night. Every night you need to market your products. I'd say 5 times, maybe 10, maybe 15. And it's easier if you can find one platform to do it on, and then sort of go out from there, like push out all of your branding from one platform. It's way easier if you can do that. So Hootsuite, if you're going to do like posting on marketing sites or things like that, it's a great thing. I talked about that a little bit earlier this week and stuff. Or CintShare, we like CintShare because it's $10 a month. So personal branding. Tanner's starting to drive really funny because he doesn't drive this car ever. I love it.
Well, I gotta be really careful because you were crying the last time I drove.
Oh, it was so crazy. Because he drives this little Miata sports car. It's even funnier when I ride in his car. And the whole top end of the car like wobbles. And I'm just like, whoa, what are you doing? Because he just drives so close to the ground. And then the other day he drove in the rain, and I swear he has this illegal front headlight. I swear it's straight up illegal.
It's illegal.
Oh, don't admit that. We're on video. Anyways. Oh, boy. So much fun. Let's see. What else about branding? Okay, company branding is so important. So you can't just be who you are half the time. Now with social media these days, you have to be who you're going to be all the time. It's got to be crisp. It's got to be real. It's got to be whatever else it is. And so I like talking about Gary Vee for a minute because he's just a great example of branding. Gary Vee always wears Levi's and he never switches over. Maybe the guy's been to Asia. I think he has. I've seen it once or twice, I believe. But I think if he found like clothes that fit like I do in Asia, he probably would dress up a little bit more than not just wear the Levi's thing. But it's always been his thing, and he believes in it, and I think it's awesome. He also uses some verbiage sometimes that is like a little harsh, but it makes him stand out, and so that's why, you know, that's an example of a good brand. I love Grant Cardone's brand. Why? Because Grant Cardone gives away just enough of the secret that it draws you in. Now, I've seen other people that give away the secret, but they don't give away enough of the secret, so it doesn't draw you in to the point that you want to purchase. The other thing that Grant Cardone is extremely amazing at is he has these VIP pass things that he does. Gary Vee does this as well. And what that basically gets you is as many pictures as you want, like you know the guy, like he's your best friend. It's so cool. And so, you know, that's really important in the brand structure. What I like to do with the branding is I like people to be able to earn that. So I don't like to, you know, charge exorbitant amounts of money for people, you know, to appear to be my best friend by any means. And so all of my top leaders across the country that are selling My Mini Casa, all of them, I just get to know them. I really like that. I get to know their families and everything else. And so you have to be who you are all the time as you build your brand. And as you figure it out, just figure it out. The number one thing that I've learned that so many people don't do besides a LinkedIn profile, which is so important, okay? Business is hugely LinkedIn. So you need a LinkedIn profile. Everybody needs a LinkedIn profile. Leaders ask me all the time, how come I don't make $100,000? You know, one of the reasons you don't make $100,000 is because you don't have a LinkedIn profile. I'm not joking. 65% of the people that buy the containers from us have a company email when they send it. So it's like their name and their company name and then whatever. And it's going to a company, even though they buy as if they're a personal purchase. Most of them have a company name. And so if they can look you up and they can see that you're on LinkedIn and that you're not a scam and all those things, and you have a brand, a company, you also have your personal brand, and they can find you on LinkedIn, they're more likely to buy from you. I guarantee that all of the people on my company that have over $100,000 in sales a month all have a LinkedIn profile, all of them. So get a LinkedIn profile for that reason alone. Now, the other piece of that is you need a company profile and a company brand. Now, some of the competitors that are out there have shot across the bow before to us as we've, you know, made sure that they don't copy our websites and that type of thing. And they literally say, well, the difference between you and me is we make everybody put the company name on their posts. And you know why they do that? So that people, just like me when I buy, can Google that company to see if they're a realistic company, and they can go right around you and purchase directly from the company. And there's no way for them to tell which one of their hundreds of reps it really was. And so My Mini Casa from the very beginning has always said, do not put your company name as My Mini Casa. Instead, start your own brand. Build your own brand, your own product, everything else, and we'll just be your supplier, your wholesaler. We're your logistics company that delivers the container for you. But it's your container, it's your brand, right? We collect the money fulfilled by My Mini Casa, just like fulfilled by Amazon. But the number one reason we did that, and we're very proud of it, even that people pointed out of it in its emails such as this, is because we don't want people to come around you and come to us and buy from us. So every now and then, here's what happens. It's my favorite thing. Every now and then this happens. And you know what happens at my office in corporate? We go in and we pull up that phone number. And if there's an invoice created in the system, we know exactly what agent it was, exactly what sales agent it was, and we give them credit. And they literally get the credit for the purchase, and we then just take the payment and do everything we need to. And so building your own brand is hugely important. As we continue to add supplies, affordable housing, and all these other things, we literally are going to go out and we're going to get all these real estate agents, all these architects, all these engineers across the whole country selling this really cool product that we have a sole distributorship for, an amazing product. And we're going to tell them, hey, you know what? Don't use our name, use your name. We're going to give you the ability to use your name as you sell it, because we don't want them to come around us or around them and go to us, right? That's so important. So build a personal brand, pick one. I know everybody's reluctant to, but pick one. And then everybody always says, well, what about the invoice? Well, when you go to Amazon and you buy Fulfilled by Amazon, what does it say on the invoice? It says Amazon. You pay Amazon. There's no difference whatsoever, all right? So you just got to know that in the process, all right? And then we'll deliver it for you, take care of it for you. The delivery is really hard in this industry. It's extremely hard, but we'll go ahead and take care of it for you. And then you make 5% or your leadership trainer percentages, which are awesome, and get a lot paid. So market. I literally go to bed every night. I saw my last thing this morning. I saw a post this morning and it said, the only people that market are people that have a product that's no good. I think the only people that market are two things. One, millionaires. They market every night before they go to bed. I guarantee every millionaire I know markets every night before they go to bed. Two, so rather than watch the news, they market. The news just sucks, quite frankly. They market. My little kids say, "Are you watching the Bad Guy show?" And that's the news at my house. Okay. Two is so they market every night. Then two, if you have a brand new product you're building, you market it until it takes off, and then it markets itself. Unless you're teaching other people to market, then you keep marketing forever because you just love to teach people, and that's all you do. It's my proudest thing. I love when I get a message from a trainer who literally messaged me somebody else that says, "This is the best thing I've ever found." And the reason it's the best thing I've ever found is because nobody judged me when I got a job. Nobody did all these things, and they just gave me a job, and then I got a paycheck for the effort and the work I put in, and I trained and I learned from you. And literally I have trainers all over the world that text me this, crying emotionally, saying, "I love what I do. I love teaching people, and I love that I get the ability to teach other people how to teach." It's my favorite thing in life. I'll never stop doing it because I love it so much. So anyways, everybody have an amazing one. Bye.